Welcome to this video of Introduction to Seaborn. In this video, we will be discussing about Seaborn. So basically, Seaborn is a Python data visualization library. Seaborn was developed as an extension to the Matplotlib library, which is another Python library for visualization purpose. Some of the key features of Seaborn are that it supports certain themes, which makes our plot more beautiful and catchy. It supports color palettes, which allows us to customize our color patterns. It helps us in drawing statistical plots, and it also supports pandas data frame and matrices, which makes it easy to get the insights from them. Now, when we talk about the difference between Seaborn and Matplot, we can say that the Seaborn is an extended version of the Matplot library, and it also uses Matplot, pandas, and NumPy for drawing the plot. It has a very simple syntax as compared to Matplot. With few lines of code, we can draw complicated plots. It allows us to work with pandas data frame efficiently. Learning Seaborn is very simple, and it is extension of Python Matplot library. So if we have an idea of a Matplot, then it becomes much easier to work with Seaborn. Now, the next thing is about the installation. So when we talk about the installation of Seaborn in Anaconda, we can go to the command prompt and we can type pip install Seaborn. Now, if we want to install Seaborn in the Jupyter notebook, then we can use the same command with an exclamation mark in the beginning. Now, by default, Seaborn library is being present in the Anaconda environment, so we don't need to install it. Okay, so just for the sake of understanding, I have just written the command here that we can use this following command for Seaborn installation in Anaconda as well as in Jupyter Notebook. Now, the next step is importing the libraries. So for importing the libraries, first of all, we need to import NumPy as NP, because Seaborn is going to use NumPy and pandas as well as Matplot. Import pandas as PD. Now then we are going to import Matplot library dot pyplot as PLT, and then we are going to import Seaborn. Import Seaborn as SNS. Now then we are going to run this. Okay, so now we have imported the necessary libraries. So the next step is we are going to get the data set. So here I'm using this automobile data set, which is the data set which is being present in Kaggle. I have provided the link also in the notebook, and I have downloaded that data set and I have put it in my Seaborn tutorial notebook. Okay, so now the next step is to get the data frame. So AutoDF is equal to so I've created a variable or a kind of a data frame name where I'm going to store the data set. Read CSV because it's a CSV file. Uh, if you want to understand how the pandas work, you can go through the pandas videos where I have told the built-in functions of pandas, and there's also a demo like what are the different functions which we can use for pandas. So I will just type automobile tab. So I have got this automobile data. Now, the next step is we need to get the data. We need to understand our data, a simple data exploration. So first step is let's first understand uh, autodf dot head. So it's going to give us the uh, first five rows of the data set. So these are the columns. Now, next thing is if we want to know what are the columns of the data set, we can just type autodf.columns. So these are the columns which is being present. Now, next thing is if we want to know the data type, so we can just do dt types. This is going to give us the data type of all the columns. This is very much important because our visualization depends upon the nature of the data. Like whether the data is a numerical data or whether it's a kind of a categorical data. So you can see here the numerical data is being represented. It can be an integer type, it can be a float type. But when we talk about the categorical data, so it is always represented as object. So this way we can get to understand what is the data type of each and every column. We can also understand what is the shape of the data, which means how much is the So this shows that there are 205 rows and 26 columns. So this was about the introduction and the initial setup for data visualization using Seaborn. Thanks everyone.